I remember when Parker was born more than I remember when Kelton was born.
Well,
I remember,
let me reframe the question. So
but I don't remember details.
yeah, and I don't
Yeah.
need details. Trust me, after you see it happen, you don't really want to remember the details.
Hmm.
Front row in real life is a lot different than the video they showed you in health class. But the truth is, when was the last time you saw a baby at church that was brand new that someone introduced you to, or that you dedicated, or when you held, your boys for the first time? That's my question. I want you to go to that moment. Okay. Now,
Hmm.
holding that, brand new baby, that brand new son, those kids you're going to dedicate, when you look at that child, I mean, just connect with those eyes in your mind. Let's go back there to that moment. When you look at that child, you're almost intrinsically overwhelmed with the value and the worth that this kid has, especially if they're yours, but even someone else's. You see so much value and worth and beauty and potential.
The and the word that came to my mind as you're saying that is not only do I see the value, but I see the vulnerability
Okay.
of the delicacy,
Yeah.
you
The
know,
care
that
needed.
you have to,
This little
yeah,
thing isn't
the
gonna
attention
yeah,
required
this little thing isn't
go
gonna
itself.
go unless it has others going with it, right?
Hmm.
There's a
Hmm.
lot that's going on here. By the way, that's why I think abortion in our world, especially in the US, is such a hard topic, because when we're talking about it, we we have all experienced this post birth with a child somewhere, no matter if that's that experience that's later back ended months, in the future, of some kid crying their head off at the mall or a restaurant, and you just wish that that kid would leave. It's bookended with, like, you've seen a child, and something in you says this is valuable, this is worth my time, this is life. Now, think back to your sons, think back to that kid. Let me ask you a question. From your standards, or the world's standards, or your employer standards, how much has that kid or that child accomplished? Well, they don't have a bank account. They've made zero accolades in their field of study. They've got no degrees. They haven't graduated high school or college. They are not producing members of society on any level, shape, or form. They do produce. Let's be clear about that.
they
They
they produce a
they
lot.
produce a lot of, but from all of our measurables as, like, adults, like us talking with other leaders, like, that kid hasn't done much. That baby really is unaccomplished, underproductive, certainly isn't crushing it, and it didn't do a dang thing. Yet, all of that inherent worth, all of that value, all of that attention, that vulnerability, all of it's there, along with all of what's not. And I think why I say to you, you have been conditioned over time, is because at what point, that's where we start with that kind of value, having nothing to do with our production. And then over time, we no longer look in the mirror and see us as we see these kids that are born. We see this person in front of us, and our measure of value is now based in our performance for it.